Nunca pensas como será. Atravessar uma galáxia e dormir uma eternidade. Pisar outro planeta. Deixar tudo. Sonhas com isso? Se fôssemos os dois, achas que nos cruzávamos? Achas que nos íamos encontrar? Do outro lado.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have two amazing guests here today. We're talking about the brand new film that comes out very, very soon, Infinite Sea. With it, we have its director, Carlos Amaral, and the star, Nuno Nolasco. Hello, everybody. Say hi to all the people out there.
Hi.
Hi everyone.
Hello. How are you guys?
Guys, this movie is so beautiful and unique, and it's one of the few times when I've ever wanted to just pause a movie to look at what's going on the screen. Um, Carlos, as the director, can you talk about the decisions that you and cinematographer Jorge Quintela made when you were putting this together and made it look like a piece of art that it is?
So I'm very into visual film. So I'm not so much I like dramas and dramas with a lot of dialogue, but I love the visual the film as a visual medium with music also. So that's what we were aiming for. So we had this idea of working mostly with wide shots that could give the space or the city its own character, like the city itself or the place itself was a character, even the planet also. So the whole film was always based on visuals, and the idea was always based on visuals. So I knew from the start I wanted something that communicated mostly through visuals and not through either dialogue or narrative. So for those who will have the chance to watch the film, you see that it's not a very linear narrative film. It's a very non-linear and maybe sometimes confusing, but yes, the point was to get something out through visuals. And I don't know, we just discussed what we had, which was the city which we live in, which is Porto, and how could we replicate the planet and how could we create this look. So we decided nighttime would be better to simulate a place that was empty, so it became a night film mostly for that. And then we just got around to how can we do this. So with not much gear, we had good gear, but not that. We were a small crew and with little time to shoot. So I think that was it. It was nighttime in Porto, wide shots, and let's just tell this through visuals.
I love that, and visually it is stunning. I think that you guys have crafted something that works without any dialogue, and even if you don't speak Portuguese or understand it, you can understand what's going on through the shots and through the acting. I wanted to get into that because I have you here, Nuno. Can you talk about Miguel as a character, what he's going through, and what it was to put that onto screen?
Yeah, well, it was kind of Carlos, I think, but he will confirm with me or not. But he wrote this in like this is a kind of a metaphor also for the crisis, like the 2008, 9, 10, whatever crisis that happened in our country, and everybody was moving away, everybody was going to the abroad to work, whatever. And I guess he felt it alone, and this character is like the metaphor for that also, like in a sci-fi situation or in a future situation where everybody is gone, everybody is going to this new planet, and you're just left behind. So I guess that was the main thing. For us, it was actually working as actors. It was actually going in the direction Carlos just talked about, like the city and the visuals are so they are so, they painted already a story that you just need to be there, you know, like if you're there with the right timing and just occupying and living those sets, and with the same temperature as the colors, whatever, I guess it puts you in the right direction. So for me, it was much more of a mood. We rehearsed for like 2 days, maybe, or three. Like we had like 2 or 3 days to just go through the scenes, and a little bit of spacing, because we actually could be there for a while in the space before shootings. And it was actually like super cool to see the set, the main set, at least the Miguel's house. That is where most of the action happens. And it was super cool to, okay, so this is my house, how can I move, and how is this temperature or these movements connect with this story that actually you don't need to say a lot, you don't need to do a lot, you know, like you're just there, you're just paused. It's like these characters are paused in this time zone or time space zone, that nothing, that it doesn't go in any direction. So just be, you know. So it was quite super, it was quite a challenge not to overact, you know, like not to tend to, oh my god, there's a drama here, oh he's sad, oh he's alone. Yeah, he is, but you don't need to play that, because he's already in this huge set, in this huge house, amazingly art directed, by the way. And it's like, come on, you just be there and you play your games and you do your tiny things of day by day life, and you're already alone, you know. So, and actually the fact that we shot it by night also, it was super cool, at least for me as an actor, to also feel a bit of the to be a bit of exhausted, you know, like to feel like the timing and also the temperature, because it's different when you're always shooting at night, even though it was almost night and we could sleep during the day, but you never sleep the same way, you know. So it was actually that also underlined the acting and the temperature of the character, I guess.
I love that. There's a inherent romance to the film. It's very romantic look, especially from the look and feel of it. Was that something that you guys, Carlos, you set out to do with the film, was to show the romance and the existentialist crisis that these characters are experiencing all at the same time?
And actually, at the beginning, I wrote this as a short film back in, I think, in 2010, and at the time it had no romance. But so what I believed once I started to write the feature, the longer length, was that I needed something for Miguel to aim for, something for him to. I needed a reason for him to be on Earth, and I was just gonna build a character just for him to have a reason. So if he needs that reason, let's just build in romance, and we'll have two characters instead of one that have actually very different moods. I think she's already accepted that maybe she's going to leave eventually or not, and he just can't still deal with it. Still starting to deal with the fact that he might be left behind of this mass immigration. So I wanted to have this contact between people in two very different states, and this states of mind, of course. And this is where the romance came in, but it came in later, and I think it works beautifully, because I think that's probably the most basic thing we can connect with is love.
Yeah, no, I think you're completely right. I think that love as a catalyst always is going to work, and it works so beautifully. Nuno, what was it like working with Maria? I know she's not here to tell us what it was like to work with you, but can you talk about working with and against Maria as Eva in this movie?
I actually can, because she's one of my best friends. So, and we actually, it was super easy for us, because we've worked together before. We were in the same theater company for several years, and actually we did other shootings also together. So we met a few years before, like, or 6 or 7 years before the shooting. so we knew already for a long time, and we were quite a friends. And at some point, Carlos was looking. I think Carlos already chose. He chose first Maria, right? So
Yeah.
Maria was already chosen, and he was looking for this leading character, male character. And at some point, he called me like to do this reading, and he told me that Maria was in, and I called her right away. Carlos called her also to be in this reading, and actually it was for me when I was in the reading that was also a casting. Like Carlos was interviewing a few other actors, but for me felt it right away super sure, super certain, like
Yeah,
because chemistry is there.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. So it was obviously they had chemistry. So I didn't have to work that. So that's what it's worked. So I picked him right away. Beyond the fact that he's an amazing actor, but both of them are amazing actors. But that was it. That you see them together. Okay, this works. I'm happy with this. So actually, I did some tests just because I already scheduled, but. Scheduled them, but I was picked right away. I mean, Nuno was it.
And actually, because we knew already, and Carlos told us this is going to be like this short shooting, not much time for us to build things, to rehearse, whatever. Of course, for us, there's this intimacy that happens at some point that actually we had it already. For me, we was just there are some actually I think that they're in the movie some shots that we were just playing and talking off camera.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and he put it on rack just because we were just laying down talking to each other, and that's our way to act. And Carlos just okay, they're in the nice position.
They were testing the camera. They were testing the shot, and it was like, oh, this is amazing. Just shoot this because it was real. It was just two people, two intimate people just talking. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I love, and that's the sort of thing that I think worked really well. And I love this because not only was it beautiful looking, but when there was dialogue, all of it was important, and every single word that came out pushed us towards the inevitable end of the movie, which I'm not going to spoil for anybody who hasn't seen the movie yet, but they should. I wanted to get into some more personal questions with the two of you guys because I always ask my guests the same two questions. So I'm going to ask them to you, gentlemen. Who are some people you look to as inspirations, whether that be in the business of acting and directing in your case, Carlos, or in your personal life that really push you along to do what you guys do?
No, you want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay, so that's a hard one. So I don't have role models as people. Maybe I have my friends or my parents, or I think as human beings, my friends are the people surrounding me are the reference that I have. I don't have, I don't know, no, I don't have any celebrities that I look up to. Their work I look up to. So for this specific film, I think there's one film that it really inspired me. It was Shane Carruth's Upstream Color. Because I don't know if you know that film, because it's a film done with very little money, but with a lot of love. And I felt that, okay, when I saw this film, okay, this is how I have to approach this, even though it looks nothing like mine and has nothing to do with mine. But I felt like this is possible because I had this idea and I was like, man, we're not going to be able to shoot this with so little money because we were really on a tight budget. But once I saw it, I knew, okay, I wanted to do something visual, and he managed to achieve that with I think even less money than I did. But it's an amazing film, and I think that's a big reference. But it's not my, I don't know, it's not my cinematic reference. I don't know. I love Nicholas Winding Refn. I love, you know. Oh, I'm not going to get into that because I might give a reference that I regret. No, I don't know. These are maybe these two, but for now, just for this specific film, I guess.
I like that. No, I can see a little Upstream Color in there with the with the similar sci-fi pseudo sci-fi references. I like that. That's a great answer, Carlos. Thank you. Nuno, what you got?
Well, I have a lot of people that I look up to, or at least that I follow their work, their jobs. But actually, it's quite funny because when people ask me this, I can never tell actors in the first place, and I don't know why, because I'm mainly, I think I'm for example, I'm not into sci-fi. I wasn't into sci-fi before this movie actually, but I'm super into anime and manga, and so I guess I have this vibe, comics vibe that I can reach out. And actually, I also studied architecture before acting, so I'm super a visual guy. So for me, when I see a movie, it's all about the directing. It's like I can never say like, oh, I love this actor or I love that actor. That's why I guess mainly I tend to prefer European because it has like this aesthetics. Of course, I can bump into references, Tarkovsky's or Bergman or Wong Kar-wai actually from the Asian side, but because they're all, for me, it works when you see like a guy with a candle for 15 minutes in a pool just trying to make it not go away. For me, that's cinema also, and I live for that. Like I don't need the crying, I don't need the story, the drama. I also need that sometimes with Bergman, for example, or not, or whatever. But I don't know. For me, it was super cool when Carlos also told me like the project. I could tell right away, okay, this is not about this is through the actors that he wants to tell the story, of course, because I think Carlos also writes amazingly, and I think he writes for actors for sure, even though he said that he was about the aesthetics and he thought about the aesthetics before. I think he writes for actors, but I knew right away that these actors serve the same purpose as the cinematography, the art direction, all of the other creatives. So for me, it was right away, okay, this is my type of movie. I like the horizontal way of doing movie. I don't like the hierarchy. So yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, but it's super hard for me. And of course, my idols, of course, my mom for sure. And it's for her that I've always done this, and I continue to do this. And that's it.
Listen, mom is always the best answer to any question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
It's
guess
the
so also.
safe answer. It's the best and the safest.
Yes, and the safest answer, absolutely. Now, you thought
Yeah.
that question was hard. This next one is very difficult. Let's suppose that we were in your alternate universe, your parallel world here, and you only had 2 movies that you had to watch on repeat. What 2 would they be and why?
2 movies.
Yep, then nothing else.
This won't mean these are my favorite movies, because usually I don't know why I have a specific type of film that I can watch repeatedly, and it's usually not a film that I love too much. I think Big Lebowski definitely, because I know it doesn't have anything to do with my aesthetics, even my favorite films, but it's just a film. If it's on, if I catch it on TV, I will just watch it until the end. I'll leave everything that I'm doing. I would say Big Lebowski. And what else? Oh God, I can't risk on the second one. This is a cruel world. We only have 2 films. I'll probably kill myself, but I don't know. They had to be fun movies. Otherwise, I would just get depressed. That's why I thought of Big Lebowski. Would have to be very long, so they're occupying a long time. Well, I'd say maybe Big Lebowski. This one is risky. It's a heavy movie, but I still think it's a masterpiece. It's 2001: Space Odyssey. Probably these 2.
Gotta have something to appeal to the brain.
But one is for fun, and one is for the other is for thinking. So, but these are not my 2 favorite movies. I don't have favorite movies, actually. What about you?
So for me, I would go, well, the first one, but it's because I really need to, if it was the only 2 movies that I could watch, it would be Bridesmaids, but just because I fucking love it and I need to watch it.
I'm gonna have to.
Oh my God, you need to, it's like,
I need
like the best comedy, one of the best comedies, because I love Kirsten Wiig. And for me, it's like, okay, if I need this moment once a week or whatever to laugh out loud, and I love the jokes and I love the way she does comedy. So it's not my favorite movie at all, but every time I see it, it's like I laugh out loud. So it works for me.
Haven't seen it yet.
Bridesmaids, yeah, you should. You should. And then maybe for the just the visuals and just for the feeling of movie, maybe Nostalgia by of Tarkovsky. Yeah, just to have both ways, like the aesthetic one and the fun one.
You are the second guest in a row to say Bridesmaids, actually.
Are you kidding me?
No, I had an actress on here, Bria Henderson, last week, and she selected Bridesmaids as one of her films as well. So
Of course, it has to be. I don't know why, but because I think it's so well written and it's so well improvised also because they do like these huge improv scenes where they just wreck it. They put it on a recording and that's it. They are just playing.
I mean, when you have the talent that you do in that film, it's very easy to just sort of hit record and then just let them go, you know?
That's it. Melissa McCartney, Kirsten Wiig, Maya Rudolph. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Now, thank you guys for answering my silly questions. I appreciate that, even though I know they were difficult. Why should people check out Infinite Sea?
Well, I think first of all, have you seen a Portuguese film? Probably not. That's number one. There's an ambulance coming by. Okay, yeah, there was an ambulance. Sorry. So that's one. Another reason I think it's an exotic film. I think it's probably one of the first, if not the first, real sci-fi film made in Portugal. So, and it's exotic for that, and because it has our context, it's very far off from what you usually see in terms of science fiction. And also for those who don't like science fiction, it's a visual drama. I think has a beautiful music, beautiful visuals, amazing acting, and I think it's a simple, straight story. It's not straight, but it's a simple idea told through a very simple concept. It's just about two people dreaming about leaving for a better life. That's just it. That's just it. Okay.
I think they should watch it because it's pretty much pretty and lovely love story for me. It's like a really good love story, but it's a simple love story of two people that just bump into each other at some point, and in an amazing visual pornography for me. So it's suitable, like you can just or chill and just close your eye. Whatever. No, you don't close your eyes and you don't close your ears, whatever. But you just, it's that. Yeah, it's a love story with the visual pornography. You should watch it.
I like it. There are definite vibes here, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention Miguel Santos's beautiful
great,
composition.
Yeah. Miguel's amazing.
Yeah,
Beautiful
Miguel's
composition.
Miguel, I've known Miguel since I was 3. So we went to kindergarten together. We've been friends since we exist, basically. And he's amazing. I believe I'm not the only one. He worked on a few short films and he does some commercial work, but features, I think this was his first feature. And he's incredible. I think he plans to move to the US. He's trying to move to New York.
Yeah, he should.
So you might have that talent on your side pretty soon.
That we will. We'll be very lucky to have him because, like I said, he just really understood, I guess, the mood that you were going for with his music, and it sets this beautiful tone that is unmistakably this film.
If for those of you who want to listen, it's on Bandcamp. If you search for Infinite Sea soundtrack, it's fully available on Bandcamp. If you're interested.
Perfect. I'll put a link at the bottom of this interview to that, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been Carlos Amaral and Nuno Nolasco for Infinite Sea, and it is out now in the United States, if I'm not mistaken. Correct? It came out March 10th.
Yep.
Yes, it was on. I think it did a week, or it's still doing a week in a theater in LA, and then it's going to go on streaming on the 24th. I believe it's on Prime Video, Apple TV, Xfinity Comcast, or Comcast Xfinity is something we don't have. I don't know what exactly it is. I think Vudu also, and a couple of other platforms that we don't have here, so I didn't memorize the names.
It's all good. Xfinity is just a cable company. They provide cable. And so they're on-demand service, and then
Okay.
Prime Video and VOD on the 24th. So you guys will have a chance to enjoy this on your beautiful televisions near you. But I would recommend, if you can catch it today, or last date for its LA run is tomorrow, March 16th, that you do so, because this needs to be seen in the biggest screen possible and the most highest fidelity possible as well. Guys, thank you very much for joining me today. Is there anything else you want to say before I let you go?
Thank you.
Well, no, I was going besides the thank you, I was going back to the first question you had about how we built the visuals. It's something I forgot actually to mention, which I think is interesting, is that me and George, we actually discussed, there's a lot of visual effects in the film, even though they're very subtle, and I did them myself. So a lot of the compositions are not actually what's being shot. So we actually composed a lot of the shots, so to give the mood that we were trying to recreate of an empty city. So we removed all elements of nature. If you see the city, there are no trees. There's basically just concrete and buildings. And then on the planet, there's no element beyond water and land. So this was an idea that was very present in the film, because one is a planet at the end of its life, and the other is a planet that's at its beginning. So this is an idea I forgot to share earlier, and I think it would be interesting. Beyond that, thank you so much. I love being here, and hope to come back one day.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
you know,
so
we'll see you when you put something else out. That's all you got to do, is put something else out, and we got you.
Thank you.
Great.
Of course.
I'm
You
trying.
guys-
I'm trying.
I mean, we're here. We'll wait for you. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, okay?
Okay, you too. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you.
Bye.